Hey, let's talk about productivity. We live in a society where getting more done in a given amount of time or getting it done faster is highly rewarded and highly valued. And so when we talk about productivity, this is usually what people will associate with being more productive, is this ability to get more done or to get it done faster. And the reality is that when we look at productivity, it is actually often doing the quote-unquote unproductive things that actually make us more productive. So in today's video, I want to talk about how I like to reframe productivity, what my definition is and where it comes from, the data that supports this different definition, and what you should really do to get the most bang for your buck when it comes to increasing your productivity in the way that feels really, really good. The 3 keys that you want to implement in your schedule to help support that, along with some journal prompts to help you with your productivity mindset. So without further ado, let's hop into it. As I mentioned, most people see productivity as getting more done and getting it quicker. And I would have to disagree with that definition, where this is really only part of being productive. I actually really like Ali Abdaal's definition of productivity, where he says it's about being intentional with our time. And I feel like that really reflects how global productivity is and all of the different ways that we can apply it in our lives in order to be more productive and to ultimately still get more done. So in our business, this would look like being able to identify what will generally move the needle and to focus on that, and to focus on the things that we genuinely love doing in our business and that are tasks that fuel us as opposed to drain us, or to at least capitalize and do more of the things that fuel us as opposed to the things that drain us. But beyond work, it's also about creating time for us to fill our own cup, rest, and to do the things that we enjoy. At the end of the day, it's not just about getting more done, it's about enjoying our day-to-day, but it also has the side benefit of, if we are happier and feel more fulfilled in our life in general, that we will be more productive. So when it comes to personal life, it's things like creating time for your hobbies and your interests, and for resting, and for hanging out with friends and family, and creating social time. So it's things that I really enjoy doing are spending time outside, taking care of my garden. I love to cook, I love to bake, also weightlifting and yoga, and watching Netflix and reading, and yes, scrolling on social media from time to time. And while some might consider that this means that I'm not being as productive, the science is actually there to support that creating more time for this is actually what helps you be more productive, because being more rested, being more recovered, you think clearer, so you're able to create more, greater quality work in less time. You're also better at creative thinking, and you're also better at problem solving. So just to give you an idea, taking the typical structure for a corporate job, which would be you work from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., totaling about 40 hours of work a week. And we have known for years, studies on this have been done for over 10 years, where they have played with reduced work week. So the 2 modalities that were most tested for this were either by going from a 5-day work week to a 4-day work week, or by reducing the amount of hours worked in a day. So instead of the standard 8 hours that you would have in a 9 to 5, to reduce it to 6 hours. And the findings were pretty interesting, where people with the reduced work weeks got more done every hour than people with the regular schedule. More than that is they got so much more done every week that even though they worked less hours at the end of the week, they still got more done than the people who worked 40 hours. All that to say that rest is productive, and if you needed hard data and facts to back up this claim, and to reduce your own schedule and your own work. You now have your answer, and you now have data to support it. Now, I totally understand that if you're looking into productivity, into being more productive, it's usually because you feel really overwhelmed and there's a ton of stuff that you're trying to get done and that you just don't have enough of 24 hours in a day to get done. And so we're kind of in a situation of the chicken or the egg here, where do you start by optimizing your work to create more time for you, or do you try to find more time for you in order to improve and make your work more efficient? And from personal experience and from having worked with clients, I will say that create the time for yourself first, but that it is what will create the most results. You are, again, giving yourself time to fill your own cup so you can then pour into your business, and that ultimately giving yourself that extra time to do the things that you love and to rest has a huge impact on your actual productivity. And then we can look at even more additional tools that we can look at to improve your work and to make your work even more efficient. But I totally understand how making that jump and creating this time for you can be really, really, really hard. So here are a couple tips to help you with that. One, creating boundaries. I know this is a tough one as well, but one that I personally love and that I use for myself is to create a cutoff time for work. So to give you an idea, I mentioned I love weightlifting. I usually weightlift with my partner, and so when he finishes work, which is usually around 5 p.m., that is my cutoff time for, okay, like, you are done work and there's no more work for the rest of the night, because then we will go train together, or I might go do yoga when I can convince him to do yoga with me, or spend time outside, and then we're cooking dinner, and then we're winding down for the night. So cutoff time is a really nice way to help you start creating time for you. Additionally, you can also have a rule where at least one day a week you don't do work. This can be whatever day you want. Generally, people will start with a weekend day, so Saturday or Sunday will be their no work day, and I highly encourage them to increase that to 2, but you can always start with 1. It's a great place to start. Now, I also want to mention that there's a huge mindset component that comes with this whole being able to step away from work. One, that your value and your worth isn't defined by how much you get done, although, as we mentioned before in this video, you might notice that you will be getting more done as a secondary effect, as a consequence of taking more time off for yourself. And that rest is incredibly productive, right? Again, if it helps you create your work more efficiently and faster, and having more creativity and being a better problem solver, this will have very positive impacts in your work. And lastly, being a huge productivity and psychology nerd, I was always really interested in the modalities and the things that we could do to optimize our work. From like, okay, I'm going to go for a walk in the morning because it's going to help me feel more awake and I'm going to be more focused. And while this is A, very true, and B, like, going for a walk is still really good for your health, is to think about all these things that you want to add into your day because you genuinely enjoy doing them, and not just because they have some other effect on optimizing your work. Not everything has to be related to optimizing your work and getting more done and getting it done faster. There is also something to be said about doing things because you genuinely enjoy them, and that applies to both in your business and in your personal life. Yes, I totally understand that saying that you need to change your productivity mindset is one thing, and then actually being able to slowly make the changes to change it is a whole other. So here are some journal prompts to help you work through this. So I'm going to give you the journal prompts, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on each of them. So the first one is, does my schedule reflect my priorities? So when I'm talking about this prompt, I don't just mean in terms of like, oh, in your business, are you on track to hit your financial goals? more so than your life in general. Like when you think about the dream life that you want to achieve, are you already able to apply this in your daily life and to experiment it? Or are you on track to help bring this to life? One of my big goals is to only have to work 20 hours a week in my business and to be able to spend the rest of my time on my other hobbies and passions and to do whatever I want. And so it's one of these shifts that isn't just going to happen when I hit a certain milestone. It is something that I try to implement every day and to build a really successful business doing exactly that. And so in my process of creating my dream life, I'm also trying to apply it a little bit every day. Journal prompt number 2 is, what can you do every day to be 1% happier? This prompt is really just to help highlight that it doesn't have to be something that's like huge and dramatic and a really, really big change, more than the little things that you can sprinkle in your day to help be just a little bit happier. So, for instance, what I like to do is I like to have slow mornings. So in my morning, I will find some time to read a book I'm really excited about, or do some yoga, go for a walk outside, and really, sure, it helps me be a healthy, better person, but I also do these things because they generally make me happy. So what are things that make you very happy? And that would be easy things that you could add into your day just to be 1% happier. And lastly, what is one thing you need to let go of in order to create this dream life and to be able to implement these quote-unquote unproductive things into your schedule? Like our whole life we have been conditioned to get more done, and that our worth was based on how much we got done and on our performance. And we all have parts of these mindsets just really deeply ingrained in how we do things. And so what are some of these beliefs that you are holding on to that are not helping you move forward in a healthy, intentional, and happy way in your productivity, in your business, and in your day-to-day? I mentioned before, I also really struggle a lot with taking a step back from my business, being able to take breaks, knowing that rest is productive. Even if it's my job, there are still days where it is pretty challenging to keep this in mind. And so always keeping that, okay, you know what, this thought isn't serving me right now, it's not helping me move forward. And so journaling about it is really, really helpful to help release that thought pattern. So if you like this video and you would like to see more, please consider subscribing, liking, and commenting. It really helps the channel and it helps other people find this content as well. Otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!